Hello people, just a quick couple of comments because we did the review earlier, probably 2 or 3 hours ago now, and a little bit's happened. Moyes has had his interview after the 4-1 defeat to Arsenal. We get a cup of tea coming probably on Wednesday or something like that, but I just wanted to have a little say on a couple of things now that have just happened post-game, really, and a lot of the reaction on our forum, on Twitter, of course, as well, and it's really surrounding the stick that Declan Rice has got, primarily from the manager. Now, I guess there's different ways of managing a situation. I don't want to go into it in too much detail, but I just think it's a little bit uneven-handed, if you like, a little bit unfair in the way that he's laid the blame squarely at Declan Rice's door, and he didn't even do anything when Joe Hart made a ricket in the game before. It's almost as if, well, you know, we collectively we accept and we lose as a team, or, you know, we concede those goals as a team, yet this time it's laid at Declan Rice's door. I don't know if he thinks that's good man management. Maybe he has. Maybe he's gauged that Declan Rice is a intelligent and a mature guy, which I think he is, and I think he probably can handle it. But I just think it was unnecessary. He was gutted when he did it, and he didn't need to be reminded by the manager, publicly at least. He could have said anything he wanted behind closed doors. But I thought it was a bit of a strange thing to do. And there's some other comments as well. For those of you that have seen the review, we go in straight after the game, before Moyes has been and talked to the Sky cameras. And I said to Gio, he probably thinks that we lost that because he brought attacking players on. And lo and behold, he does. He said that perhaps I played too many attacking players. Well, that does not bode well for the future. Not at all when they are looking at trying to get bums on seats. It's ticket renewal time. And added to the fact that we are constantly linked over the last few days, Fellaini is reared his head again. Johnny Evans, he said Mawson, the centre-back at Swansea. And the other one was, I think it was Dawson, possibly, at West Brom. But there were basically 3 centre-backs, and by all intents and purposes, a sort of burly, fouling, nasty sort of midfielder. And I just think that's really the future. I think Lanzini's going to be off. The fact that it took him so long to bring Lanzini on clearly doesn't fancy Hernandez. Now, I thought when I saw it that actually we looked better when Lanzini came on, and, well, obviously he made the assist, but also when Hernandez came on as well. I thought we looked better. I thought we looked more attacking. The very fact that our manager has looked at that and he has thought, oh, that's a little bit dodgy, that's why we lost the game, it just shows his mindset is so negative. It's really going to be very, very hard for him to ever shift that. He's too old to. And we're going to expect more of the same next season. I think he's probably going to ship those 2 players out. And you and they are not going to be replaced by exciting players, I can tell you that much. But what annoys me about the whole thing is that he seems to be a shoo-in. It seems that David Sullivan has decided that he's getting a job whatever happens. And this sort of brings me to the forum and the Twitter comments. There's one in particular, I'm not going to name him, he's on Twitter, because it's not fair, he's just a lad having his say on Twitter, it's fine. And his opinion will obviously be shared by many. But he said something like, we've got to be grateful for what David Moyes has done. He said something like, when Moyes came in December, that he was worried that we'd get relegated, and it looks as though Moyes will keep us away from relegation and keep us safe, really. And I just started to wonder, when did it become the West Ham way, really, for us to be happy with just avoiding failure? When did it become the West Ham way that we were sort of cap in hand, like the bowl in hand, shall we say, like the Orphan Oliver police circle, and have some more begging? God blimey, Governor, thank you very much for just keeping us safe. That was never the West Ham way. We were happy to play attacking football. We weren't always particularly good at it. We tried to keep the ball on the deck. We tried to attack, and we went on cup runs, and we didn't mind. You know, it was never nice when we got relegated, but there's a lot of fans, season ticket holders, I'll tell you, some of the best seasons are when we were in division below, because you go away to a lot of these places and you win. We win games. So, whilst you wouldn't wish relegation, it's not the end of the world. The regular fans, the club, it still carries on. The benefit of being in the Premier League, as far as I can see it, is that you get 150 to 200 million pound a year. Well, what's the point in having 150 to 200 million pound a year if you are going to play turgid football like we've seen now, and if the 150 and 200 million is going to be spent terribly in the way it is? What's the point? I would rather have players who aren't quite as good in the lower division and start playing a little bit slightly better football, and then get promoted again. At least, you know, when you get promoted, then you're going to play with a certain style, you're going to play with a certain swagger. You're going for the cup. We're never going to go for a cup run under this manager. It's just absolutely terrible that we have to be grateful for just avoiding failure. That is a low expectation ceiling. It's very, very low indeed. And it's just not something that I really recognise. And I just wonder, when did we switch from a team that had a heritage and had a history to somebody that's just grateful just to survive, just to be in there or thereabouts alongside the likes of Huddersfield? I'm sure a lot of you will answer that happened when we moved stadium, and maybe you're right. But the fact that this whole thing is a shoo-in and we got this to look forward to next season is a major, major worry. I asked on the review how many times this season we'd let in 3 goals or more. 14. The answer was 14. Somebody put it up there. So clearly he's going to be looking at it and thinking the defence need work. Now the defence does need work, but that is one way of looking at it. Also, the other way of looking at it is if we pose a greater threat higher up the pitch, then other teams, opposition teams, are not going to commit as many men forward. When you invite teams onto you, surely they're more likely to score. He's got defensive tactics, they're just not working. And that really leads me to my final point, which I was just thinking when I was reading all this stuff. What's happening is, because West Ham are playing Arsenal, the West Ham stories are being mixed up with the Arsenal stories. And something shone out from all of this, and it was from Ivan Gazidis. I think it's Ivan, whatever. Gazidis, he is the chief executive of Arsenal. Now, he said some words which were brilliant. Now, obviously, the words were intended and implied to Arsenal. Now, if you don't apply those words to Arsenal and think of them in West Ham terms, this is what he said. I haven't got it written down or anything, but he basically said, we need, in our search for a replacement for Arsene Wenger, we need to be bold and we need to be innovative. When we brought Arsene Wenger in, he was an innovator. What we need to do is we need to find the next new innovator, the next person that's going to take football forward. We need to scour football, I think he said global football or something like that, and look for the most exciting and innovative up-and-coming coach in football, because that is the way Arsenal will prosper and thrive and be able to move forward. Now take that, which, as I say, if you forget it's for Arsenal, and actually you would supply that to us, whilst we might not get the best manager in the world, which might be Pep Guardiola or whatever, it does beg the question. That's the complete opposite of what we're doing. The complete opposite. We're not being bold. That's not bold. It's almost playing it safe, but it's playing it so safe that it's boring. There will be some manager out there, I don't know, maybe he's in the second Bundesliga or something like that, will be ripping it up. There'll be some new tactics. There'll just be something exciting going on somewhere. And someone has a real philosophy. And that's another thing that they want to buy into. Somebody with an innovative philosophy. It's a million miles from what West Ham are trying to do. It's a million miles from what David Moyes is going to do. And I don't know what the board think they're doing by guaranteeing him this position, because is that the extent of our ambition? Is that it? Is that what we moved from Upton Park for? Just to be happy to survive, to buy some more defenders, to get rid of our flair players, to invite teams onto us, to be gritty, to be nasty. It wasn't about that, was it? West Ham has never been about that, but surely the move forward has never been about that. Anyway, that's it. That's my little rant. I'm gonna. I've had to come out into the van. I had to come out into the van because it's all kicking off inside. Nothing to do with the football. Nothing to do with football. Someone smashed someone's Lego tower. But anyway, that's another matter. I'm gonna go back in and deal with the smashing of the Lego tower. Just thought I would put my opinions. Have my shout. We normally ask you for your shout, but this is my shout. Please do jump on the forum. Have a look. If you go on the forum, it's hammerschat.com. Click on the forum. There's a thread. It's the West Ham Arsenal match thread. There's loads of opinions on there. I mean, some pretty strong opinions, and everyone's fed up. And the benefit of the forum above Twitter is it doesn't disappear off a feed straight away. You can just click back and go through it, and you know, have your opinion. And there's some pretty lengthy pieces on there. Sorry, just finally, I know I said I'd leave. There was a poll on Claret and Hugh in the week, which I discussed that Does David Moyes deserve a new contract? 63% I think said yes. I just wonder if that's changed now. You might not, you might disagree. There's a lot of people that thought we played really well today, and perhaps in patches we did. Perhaps if we'd have gone on and worked on from that solid base, something might happen. But the fact that we played well for a section of the game, then still went on to lose 4-1, the fact that the manager thinks the error in the game was trying to attack, and the fact that he's hung out to dry, probably our future captain and the best young player at the club, someone who I'm hoping, touch wood, wherever the word is, will hopefully be there long after a lot of these players have disappeared. I do find that a bit of a worry, and that's it. Anyway, I've got Mike on Monday tomorrow, because tomorrow's Monday. We'll be back with a cup of tea. Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. We've got previews coming in the week as well. Thanks for listening to my rant. Believe it or not, it feels a bit better. Post your comments below. We've got a new show coming, which is where I read through all your comments, and we basically start looking at what you've been saying, because we are, by all intents and purposes, Amateur are a forum. We're about people discussing things with each other, so we want to get you a bit more involved and start publishing a few more of your comments to give you a lot of say. Don't forget you can send in your video. If you want to sit in your van or car, motorbike, whatever, and have a rant, send it into info@hammerschat.com, and you can do a little your shout. I'll publish it, and you can have a moan as well. Right, I'm going back in to sort out the fighters about the Lego. See you later.